Let's play a game. I'm going to give you a list of symptoms. You try to guess the disorder or the problem, all right? So the symptoms include low mood, insomnia, anger, anxiety, irritability, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, changes in appetite or mood, digestive problems. Any guesses? These are all symptoms of chronic stress and trauma. You might have also guessed that these are the symptoms currently being experienced by the majority of the people on the planet who are on lockdown because of COVID-19. Today, we're going to talk about trauma and chronic stress and find out what we can do to reduce the stress that we are experiencing and help to ensure that we all come out of this with some resiliency, the ability to bounce back and come back stronger and wiser and healthier. So if you don't know, I am Tracy Kulwicki. My goal in these videos is to help share information that can help you thrive and flourish, no matter what your circumstances. And right now, a lot of us are experiencing some really challenging circumstances. Trauma is defined as something that is deeply and distressing, a deeply and distressing and disturbing experience. I can't speak today. So some of the most common reactions in the midst of trauma are either feeling a lot of very strong emotions or feeling numb and unable to experience any emotions, including pleasure and pain. And I know this is a very common thing that a lot of people are feeling. I've seen people post on Facebook, I walked into the grocery store and just burst into tears at all of the empty shelves. Or I've seen people say, my kid said something completely, harmless, and it just made me explode with anger. We've got those strong feelings. There's also a lot of people who are either feeling numb or trying to numb because they're overwhelmed. And so they're numbing with food or with alcohol or with other substances and activities. None of these are exactly healthy, but it's completely normal in the face of trauma. Stress, on the other hand, or similarly, is a biological response to a demanding situation. So we all experience stress on a pretty daily basis under normal circumstances. When we experience stress, our bodies release adrenaline and cortisol to help prepare our bodies for action. So we get into a heightened state of awareness, our heart rate and our breathing increase, and we are ready to either fight or head off into a flight. This is normal and completely healthy. The problem is when our bodies experience chronic stress. That is when stress continues for an extended period of time. And this is the experience of most people right now. Everything in our lives has changed. There are new updates coming each day and sometimes each hour. We don't know when this is going to end. We worry about how it's going to affect ourselves and our families. We have financial difficulties. Some people have health issues and concerns. There's so many things that are increasing our stress, and it is continuing. This is not just a short experience. There's not just a short experience that we're just got to get through and then it'll be over. This has been going on for weeks and will continue to go on for months in the future. So we are all being exposed to chronic stress and trauma right now. And researchers know that chronic stress and trauma like this can lead to a lot more than just discomfort and challenges in the moment. Chronic stress increases a person's future risk for heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, weakened immune system, gastrointestinal issues, sexual dysfunction, burnout, insomnia, depression, and anxiety disorders. These things are problems that come as a result of trauma experienced long in the past. And so this is essentially what could be in our future if we don't do something to manage our stress now. So our focus shouldn't be just surviving and getting through this challenging time. Instead, we need to focus on how we can improve our chances of thriving in this time and in the future. So, because the physical and mental effects of this pandemic are going to last for months and years into the future. And we want to put ourselves in the best position to come out of this stronger, not more sick. So I'm not saying any of this to scare you. My goal is to educate and inform, because when we know better, we can do better. So instead of taking this time just to coast and just white knuckle it and try to survive, let's instead use this time to improve our chances of coming out of this better, stronger, healthier, and wiser. So the first thing that I want to just kind of mention from the get-go is if you are in need of professional help, please get professional help. There are doctors and therapists that are still seeing patients and providing mental health support. And many of these are done through telehealth options that can still allow us to practice social distancing and stay safe and healthy physical wise from the virus, and also get the help and support that we need. So it is available. So if you're experiencing distress or symptoms that are hindering your ability to cope and kind of function on a daily basis, then I want you to go and get professional help. If you aren't sure if you need to see a professional, always err on the side of caution and reach out, because a trained, qualified therapist can help you determine if you do need their professional help and how, or if there are other resources or support that they can provide or refer you to. Beyond professional help, when that is needed, there's a lot of things that we can do to work to ease and manage our stress. So first thing I want you to do is just acknowledge, recognize, admit that you are struggling and in what ways. So if you're experiencing any of the symptoms that I mentioned earlier, acknowledge that you are stressed and just accept that this is a completely normal response to a challenging situation. We are all under stress. We are all experiencing these symptoms in one form or another. So just recognizing that and accepting it is a good first step to help us then take the additional steps that we need to be healthier. Next, we want to identify some of the things that are triggering our stress response. So obvious things, if you notice that your breathing and your heart rate increases at certain times in the day, that's a real obvious thing that you're experiencing stress. But there might be some less obvious symptoms or signals for you to recognize when you're feeling stressed. So maybe you realize that you're clenching your jaw or you're clenching your fists at certain times of the day. Or perhaps you notice that you're extra moody after experiencing something in your day, or you're just emotionally fatigued. So take a few days to just pay attention to your body, your emotions, your behaviors, and identify the preceding activities that might be triggering these stress responses. So notice when you're experiencing those emotions, behaviors, or body symptoms that indicate that you might be stressed out, and figure out what you were doing that led to that. And once you've noticed those triggers, then you can do what you can to either eliminate or lessen their impact. So for example, maybe you realize that when you're reading through the news, your jaw, your hands, everything starts to like get tight and clenched. So perhaps for you, you will pick, a 5-minute period of your day that you're going to read the news, and the rest of it you're not. Or even better, have your husband or a friend read the news if they can handle it better, and then just give you the highlights that you need to know to stay informed and make the decisions that you need to for your family. You don't have to live in the news and those stressful things. Another example might be if you realize that you're just extra moody and grouchy and irritable when you're working with your kids on their schoolwork, then perhaps you need to just take a step back and try to come up with some new strategies, new things that you can implement during that time to help it be more enjoyable and less stressful for everyone involved. So we're all experiencing stress, and there's a lot of different things that could be triggering you. Everybody is different. So identify what your triggers are and do what you can to eliminate or lessen their impact. Other things that we can do to help our bodies to cope and heal from this chronic stress. I always suggest move your body for at least 30 minutes a day, and that is even more important now. One thing I do want to add on to that is your bodies are already really stressed. So if you're like deciding that I'm going to become a CrossFitter now, even though you've been a couch potato for your whole life, or by the end of this pandemic, I'm going to learn how to run a marathon when you really can barely walk around the block, that's going to be too much stress on your body. We want to ease into things, take things slowly, allow our bodies to get the rest and the recuperation it needs while also moving it. So take things slowly, take things carefully, do exercises that aren't causing an additional overwhelming stress load on your body, but are still, challenging. So definitely go for walks, do some yoga, have a dance party with the kids, whatever you want to do, just make sure that you're moving your body for at least 30 minutes a day. If you've got the extra time, do more. Doesn't hurt. Practice mindfulness and meditation would be the second thing that I would suggest. And this isn't some woo-woo new age thing. Mindfulness and meditation is very biblical. There's a lot of resources out there and things that can help you to practice mindfulness, practice meditation, be still in God's presence. That is part of mindfulness. Meditate, fix your thoughts on the good things. That is also biblical. So do things that can help you to gain some control over your mind and your thoughts to kind of calm the chaos that's going on there. Another thing, make sure that you're reaching out to your friends and family to get support. Even if you can't go meet your friend for coffee, meet your friend for coffee on Zoom and still get that opportunity to connect and relate, to vent all your issues and frustrations and get their support. Relationships are huge in this time that we're socially isolating. And then another thing I want to mention is to develop and keep healthy routines that your mind can rely on each day. And I mentioned this way back in my first video that I created during this time, is that we've got to, our minds are going crazy because everything has changed, everything continues to change, and there's nothing that they can rely on. So if you can develop some habits, some routines to build into your day that your body can just know, or your brain can know that we just do this. This is the part of our day. It's gonna help you to feel a little bit more in control, a little bit less stressed. So the good news that I want to leave you with is that the most common reaction to trauma is not PTSD. It's not some scary, crazy thing that we hear about all the time. The most common reaction to trauma is actually resiliency. Most of us have within ourselves the ability to bounce back after this. We can come back stronger and wiser and healthier and more beautiful. But we have to take care of our minds and our bodies while we go through this to increase our chances for that resiliency and to come back stronger. So I hope that it's helpful. I hope that's encouraging for you today. I will see you next time. Have a great day.